Hello, welcome to the Single African Market Program, that program that's designed to bring you all the activities around the vision of the continent of Africa to integrate its market right here at the commercial capital of Africa, Accra. That is where we're bringing you this program. And this week, we are going to bring you two major events that have taken place as far as this vision of the continent of Africa to integrate its market is concerned. Now, first of all, we're bringing you the launching of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems that took place here at the commercial capital of Africa, Accra. Now, this is a long-awaited dream that the continent wanted to see, a situation where you can make payments from one country to the other without problems, without converting into a Western country or dollar, pound sterling or euro before you can get payment made in another country. With the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, we have been told that just within 7 seconds, you can deposit CD here and your counterpart in Nigeria can get Naira from the bank within 7 seconds. Everybody wants this because it will support trade. We're also going to bring you the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2023 edition unveiling, or the launch that took place again at the Secretariat, the AfCFTA Secretariat here in Accra, the commercial capital of Africa. First of all, let's let you into that auditorium where that historic event took place, where the PAPSS, or the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, was launched.
The Pan-African Payments and Settlement System is a financial market infrastructure that has been developed and initiated through a collaborative effort of the AfCFTA Secretariat, Afrexim Bank, and the African Union Commission, working together with the West African Monetary Institute and associated central banks in the WAMSI region. It is designed to ensure instant payment for goods and services between African jurisdictions. Payments are initiated and settled in local currencies of initiators and beneficiaries, effectively eliminating the need for third-party currencies to consummate trade within our region. At a continental level, establishing an efficient payment infrastructure that will facilitate transactions from Cape Town to Cairo, from Dakar to Dar es Salaam, will go a long way to eliminate the artificial borders that have divided the continent and robbed us of our shared prosperity. Together, we will create the foundational support for the innovation of trade and payment solutions, which will help the continent solve uniquely African challenges.
Why should we require hard currencies for trade between Kenya and Uganda, or between Senegal and Guinea? Why should a trader in Malawi worry about receiving payments for goods shipped to Kenya? Why can't we operate as if every African currency is convertible within Africa? And why should inter-African payments be routed via third countries outside our continent? Why should we pay $5 billion annually, more than the nominal GDP of more than 25% of the countries in Africa, in clearing charges to non-African banks for Africa-to-Africa transactions? With the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, we begin to address these absurdities. That is why it is a revolutionary and path-breaking system that can transform Africa's financial landscape and promote continental trade and financial integration. Today's commercial launch of PAPSS is a watershed moment for the continent and represents another step towards restoring the dignity of the Africans.
Today is a historic day. It is a milestone in the integration of our continent. The great liberation struggle heroes of our continent who over the last 60 years had expressed a vision of an integrated market in Africa, I am sure today are rejoicing because the dream of an integrated Africa is becoming a reality in our lifetime. And how fitting it is, therefore, that the commercial launch of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is taking place here in Ghana, a country that over many decades has long been at the intellectual and philosophical vanguard of Pan-Africanism. Today we have an opportunity to give practical meaning and practical content to this Pan-Africanism. PAPSS is a pioneering effort at achieving a Pan-African payments and settlement system which will enable Africa to reduce reliance on third currencies, and more importantly, it has the potential to significantly boost intra-Africa trade. With the launch of PAPSS today, a critical tool of boosting intra-Africa trade, the implementation of the AfCFTA is well positioned to benefit the categories, very important segments of our society, small medium enterprises, young entrepreneurs, those Africans that are trading across borders, by significantly reducing the cost of trading across borders in our continent.
We're joined by the Group Managing Director of the Dangote Industries Limited, speaking on behalf of the founder and chairman. Would you please make welcome Olakunle Aleke.
It is longer news that payments on intra-African trade were balked with various challenges, e.g. high cost, lengthy correspondent banking relationships, delays, etc. However, the advent of PAPSS will greatly address the above challenges and ease transactions among businesses across Africa.
Trading among ourselves as buyers and sellers and traders require ease of making and receiving payments seamlessly, efficiently, quickly, easily, and at a commercial bank, I will also say at low cost. Hence the imperative of creating PAPSS. Prior to PAPSS, there were numerous impediments on challenging this, but today we are launching the commercial launch of PAPSS that will make this history. I must say that it is not every time that you launch something that it becomes instant reality. We need to own this ourselves. We need to work towards making sure that it works continuously. And when there is a problem, we need to understand that so many places were not built in a day. I will say that Accra was not built in a day.
As a centralized payment and settlement market infrastructure for processing, clearing, and settling intra-African trade and commerce payments, PAPSS will facilitate payments and help to formalize the large informal cross-border trading activities on the continent. Most importantly, PAPSS fills a real gap by adapting the necessary know your customer and anti-money laundering KYC/AML requirements to the African context, which is also critical towards supporting inclusive growth by helping to maintain businesses, including SMEs and informal businesses. So the infrastructure offered by PAPSS will significantly boost regional integration and intra-African trade by reducing exchange risk and unlocking the capacity of economic agents to trade amongst themselves.
The launch of PAPSS today signifies the passion of African countries to take our future in our hands and collectively chart a path towards greater trade and investment in Africa. Data from AfCFTA estimates informal cross-border trade in Africa at $50 billion annually. This volume of unrecorded trade is huge by every standard, and building a payment system infrastructure that enables instant settlement of trade transactions across countries in Africa would no doubt yield significant benefits for households, businesses and financial institutions, as well as formalized trading activities that are not reflected in official trade data.
So in January 2021, of course, AfCFTA became effective. January 2022, PAPSS has been launched, and this all from Accra. Ghana is not a country. Ghana is an idea for the liberation of the continent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President of the Republic, speaking on behalf of the President of our Republic, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
The African Continental Free Trade Area has been given the mandate of promoting intra-regional trade, the fulfillment of which requires the support of all African central banks as supervisors of the payment systems to ensure seamless transfer of funds across the continent. The Afri-Exim Bank has expressed its determination to assist the AfCFTA to contribute to the development of sound, effective, and efficient payment systems and payment services in several ways. It is in this regard that I applaud the AfCFTA and the Afri-Exim Bank for initiating the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, PAPSS. And I'm sure you will agree with me that with the launch of the PAPSS that we are doing today, the building blocks of the AfCFTA are progressively falling into place. I'm pleased to note that the PAPSS has demonstrated credibility through its successful pilot and proof of concept in the West African Monetary Zone, which provided the appropriate context, multilingual, multi-currency, multi-regulator, and so on, as anticipated in the larger African context. We can therefore say with pride that the efforts have borne the desired fruits and that we have successfully met the objective we set for ourselves.
And so, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, respectfully I ask that we be upstanding as we count down to the official launch of PAPSS. Let's begin the countdown. And so in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and in 1, Mr. Vice President, it falls to you to bring down the lever to officially commission PAPSS. And this is how we create the future we want. Mr. Vice President, if it pleases you.
So the long-awaited Pan-African Payment Settlement Systems has been launched here in Accra, the commercial capital of Africa, and this is what a lot of people, businesses have been waiting for, how you can purchase something across the other country and be able to pay for that in your own currency within a twinkle of an eye. Your partner in the other country should be able to access the money for the item that you have purchased. Everybody believes that this is going to foster intra-Africa trade. We'll be talking to the business community in the coming days. In the meantime, another major thing has been launched in Accra, the commercial capital of Africa, and that's the IATF 2023 edition that's supposed to take place in Abidjan, La Côte d'Ivoire. The 2021 edition took place in Durban, South Africa, and you recall that we brought you almost everything around it. The 2023 edition happening in Abidjan has been launched. The 2021 International Trade Fair, IATF, is said to have yielded a resounding success, resulting in some $42.1 billion worth of deals. At a press conference to officially unveil the next edition of the IATF, which is the 2023 edition that will take place in Abidjan, La Côte d'Ivoire, the managing director of the Afri-Exim Bank's IATF initiative officially recounted the statistical successes of the IATF 2021.
We had a huge and staggering participation level of 32,541. We had 542 deals concluded, during the event. And in terms of value, a total value of 42.1 billion worth of trade, investments and financing deals were concluded.
She also shed light on the significance of the IATF.
Testimonies of, for instance, the Angolan governments through their managers of their food security program, who are currently on roadshows across Africa from Mozambique to Malawi to redirect their supplies of food. They will normally buy a lot of their foods from outside the continent. But today, based on that trade fair, they're signing contracts with various African countries and procure their food program requirements. EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction was all areas that got a lot of, mileage. It's also an area where we play very actively as Afrexim Bank, trying to support African countries and African businesses, engineering and constructing companies to take part and participate in that huge market of infrastructure requirements. An Egyptian EPC contractor will let us know that they signed contracts in excess of about $1 billion, from across the continent as well. We expect this trend to continue as we move into the third edition to be held in Abidjan. The stage is all set that IATF is now the go-to platform for connecting businesses, as I mentioned, connecting buyers and sellers, investors to the opportunities across the continent for investment. It is now a veritable platform for integrating the public and private sector.
Chairman of the Governing Council of the IATF 2021 and former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, says this time around a lot more focus will be placed on SMEs.
I know, for instance, in the case of Nigeria, they are giving assistance in transportation and assistance in different forms. But really the issue is that we particularly want to encourage SMEs because they are really the backbone of the economy, the economies in African countries.
Just let me add to what His Excellency President Obasanjo said. In 2021, we paid particular attention on ensuring that SMEs, especially youth SMEs, participated. We went to a great extent to encourage countries to support them, but we also supported them. I think we sponsored about 30 ourselves. We also waived exhibition fees for them. And those in the AU pavilion, we also had AE Trade Group supporting some of them who came. So in essence, we as a Flexing Bank covered about 30 selected through a competitive process, and also waived exhibition fees for all the SMEs that we are in the youth pavilion.
The ambassador of Côte d'Ivoire to Ghana, whose country will be hosting the IATF 2023, assured the continent of Côte d'Ivoire's readiness to host the Continental Trade Fair in 2023.
Plein d'essor en Côte d'Ivoire, comme vous le savez.
Addressing some concerns by members of the press for the media to be carried along with the implementation of the AfCFTA, the dignitaries acknowledged that the media's support and involvement in propagating the agenda of the AfCFTA is critical, particularly at this point.
There is an acceptance that implementation of this agreement is not just this table, that it is all Africans. whether you are a trade lawyer or a journalist, but all of us have to do our part to implement this agreement based on where we are in our respective mandate. Helping journalists to understand and helping Africans to understand how do you access this agreement, some of the things that we talked about before, and also at the trade fair, how do you access financing to trade? Now we are discussing a transit guarantee scheme that will be rolled out throughout the African continent. How do we make sure that there is general knowledge and understanding about this, this initiative? So we will do more to make sure that we have an outreach advocacy a platform, whether it is digital or in person or hybrid. I think we certainly can do more. This agreement is very complicated, very, very technical. It is something that was drafted by trade lawyers, and so obviously it is out of reach from ordinary people. And so we have to make sure that it is easily understandable and that it is easily accessible. And the best way to do that is through you in the media to help us to convey the benefits, the risks of the agreement to small, medium enterprises, to our business sector, to develop a joint program for engaging with the media and engaging with journalists and making sure that all the good things that we are doing on behalf of our continent, that they are known. That's the only way we can be held accountable, is if people know what we're doing and if they know the implications of what we're doing for them.
Okay, we are going to do a countdown to the opening of IATF 2023. So on a count of 3, 2, 1. Applause, please.
Paint out the sky with the proud colors of your flag and say goodbye to the darkness of the past. We're stepping forward, we're rising up. Oh, Africa, our time is now.
So IATF 2023 coming up in Abidjan, La Côte d'Ivoire, beautifully launched at the AfCFTA Secretariat here in Accra, the commercial capital of Africa, and it is expected that it's going to be bigger there because a lot of people who missed out in the IATF 2021 would want to take advantage of that, particularly SMEs, entrepreneurs, innovators would want to take advantage of that. We had about $42 billion worth of deals sealed at the IATF 2021, and there's a lot of hope that the IATF 2023 will even yield greater dollar worth of deals there. In the meantime, entrepreneurs, we are hoping that you start taking and planning to take advantage of the IATF 2023. Now, next week, we'll commence our profiling of entrepreneurs, innovators that we have always been bringing to you. I said that this year, we will also be adding the conglomerates, the big businesses, and how they will take advantage of the AfCFTA. And this week we should be focusing on a young lady, this trash beauty company. She's making a lot of use of trash that you would have otherwise thrown onto the garbage or somewhere. We will profile her on this platform. You can't afford to miss that. In the meantime, we'll bring you schedules of flights moving from the commercial capital of Africa to the rest of the African cities, as well as the weather report for all African cities, the forex rate for the African market, and the AfCFTA status for party states. If you ever doubted that this whole vision of the continent of Africa to integrate its market will be a reality, I'm sure now you're having a change of mind because, folks, everything is coming together. We have a platform or a payment system that you can use to make payments when you trade across countries. Now we are bringing businesses across the entire continent together at the IATF, Intra-Africa Trade Fair. So people, businesses are gathering. Payment system has been made available. What else do you want to see? And you need to understand it to be able to take advantage of it and be impacted by it positively. That's why we encourage you to tag along this platform, because we will never miss any step. Right from here, we will tell you everything before the AfCFTA arrives at your doorstep. I always thank you for watching the program. I'll be here same time next week to bring you another edition of the Single African Market, which you can't afford to miss. Thanks for watching.
In the name of great Africa, is the fight and conquer now. In the name of grace,